Zero Trust World. We planned that. Zero Trust World 2026 in extremely roasty hot Orlando, Florida. It's not really. It's like the perfect temperature or something outside, but because
It's spring out there.
Yeah, but it hasn't been above like 35 degrees at my house in the last 2 months. So for me, it felt like I just walked into like the blazing jungle, on the equator or something. But I'm Doug White from Security Weekly News, and I actually brought somebody along because I wasn't sure I could handle this, and so I brought somebody who can handle literally anything. Jeff Mann.
Yep, Jeff Mann from Paul's Security Weekly.
Yeah, and Jeff's the person I would like. Well, maybe I would take Larry first if I had to go on a desert island to survive. No, I know who it was. Tyler Robinson.
Definitely Tyler.
Larry taught Tyler, and Tyler's younger and better looking. So, yeah, it all works. But anyway, we're here on the.
Larry's got more meat on the bones.
Well, that's true, and that is something to consider when you're going to be put on a desert island.
Yeah.
Like, what will we be dining on later? Who would have thought we'd turn to cannibalism this early in the conference? But hey, it always happens. So I went out and I won. I got here super late last night because my flight was delayed while the pilot kept coming out going, we might not die. I'm not sure. And that kind of stuff.
Of course, you were still on the ground when he was saying that, right?
Yeah, but I mean, they were not sure if they could take off, and you see the flight crews like up there, like praying to a shrine, and yeah, it was a little creepy. But we got here, we survived, we made everything work, and then I found Jeff, of course, because I used the classic con technique to find certain people, which is go to the nearest cigar bar.
That's right.
And of course, that's where I found Jeff with cigars.
Well, I was here on time and got to enjoy the opening reception last night.
I know.
Which was outdoors, which was a little dicey because it was raining most of the day yesterday. Florida rain, off and on here and there.
That kind of stuff, yeah.
But they had a really great spread. It wasn't just finger food. They had, I guess, Southern home cooking. There was ribs and there was brisket and mac and cheese, all the good stuff. And what did you have for dinner last night?
I'm not even making this up. I literally had a sandwich that was marked 50% off. And I was why is this 50% off? And the guy said, they're going to be discarded after a while. And I said, would you eat it? And he said, no, but I ate it. Because, all we got was a glass of water, and like, they had to like ration the pretzels, like each person gets 2 or something. And,
right.
Yeah.
They only have so much on that plane, and it's only so long a flight.
Yeah, the flight turned into like the transatlantic connection. It was so long. But
we're here. We made it.
We're here.
Set
we
up.
made it.
It's a new venue this year.
It looks fun. Yeah.
It's twice as big, I think, as last year, just in terms of square footage, the available space.
I'd never even heard of this resort, and then it's like super nice. I was like, wow. And I just saw it in the dark, but it looked really good this morning. They had golf courses. It's like all really cool.
Yep.
And I went out so we're actually on the floor, the vendor floor. So there's lots and lots of vendors over there that you can't see. If we had like the extra money, we'd get the camera swivel and or the drone, and we would have the person flying the drone over the conference to show it. And of course, I would have more attendance then too.
There would be room for a drone here.
You could fly a drone in here, yeah.
It's probably a 50
and I could have like 25 handlers that follow me around, but it would be fun. But I went and I was trying to get like some cool swag. The coolest swag was a giant cat that they would not let me have. I was like, could I please borrow this for like 15 minutes? And they wouldn't let me have it. And I went and I tried to get another thing. I was literally trying to get a hat, and it turned into like corporate hell. I was like, could I just borrow that hat right there for like 15 minutes? I'll wear it on this intro show. And they were like, I'm going to have to contact Bob, and Bob's going to have to call Steve, and corporate legal is probably not available until 10 a.m., and then they're going to call back down here. And then once they get on it, we can probably get an agreement within 3 to 6 weeks. And I was like, yeah, it's okay. I'll just not wear a hat. It's fine, really. But I did InfraGard is here, so they only had pamphlets, but it's a service organization. What did you expect? You would be shocked if they had something other than, if they were handing out gold bars at InfraGard, you'd be a little worried.
Right.
Are you an InfraGard member?
I am not an InfraGard member.
I'm an InfraGard.
I have been to different InfraGard events over the years. I think I've spoken at one here and there.
I've been a member since it started, actually. So
wasn't it sort of, I don't know if originally it was more for law enforcement?
Well, yeah, it started out with law enforcement and that kind of thing, but it really got into an information dissemination and trying to help people figure out what was going on.
How's that
It was
work?
an attempt by law enforcement to start sharing,
Right.
which was something they had never done before in the past. And so they got you an FBI clearance, they got you an FBI. You could get access to that site,
right.
so you could get their announcements and so
Yeah,
forth.
that's
This
so they're
one-
here.
So this book, which is called Standardize, the MSP's Guide to Avoiding Lawsuits, Scaling Compliance, and Winning High-Value Clients, was from Galactic Advisors. So scaled up a little from a pamphlet to a book. So that was
Do you
okay.
have to give it back?
Yes.
Okay.
No, he said I could keep it.
Okay.
Academic books, come on.
Right.
They're like, take it.
Are
I don't
there
wanna carry it home.
pictures?
You can have it.
I'll
I can
look
get
at it
another
while
one.
you're
Well, it's
talking.
right- Yeah, you can. Jeff will read while we do the
I'll
rest.
read it. Yeah, I'm
And
absorbing
then
it.
I found something cool. Look at this thing.
That
So
is
this
cool.
one is from. Wait, now I got to find the. This is from Infotech Research Group, and it is a Harry Potter owl made out of Lego bricks.
That
So-
owl has a name, and my children will be mad at me for not remembering.
I don't
the
know
name
what
of
its
the
name
owl.
is.
Yeah.
Oh no! Now we're gonna look bad and old because we don't know Harry Potter's owl's name. All I can think of is Hedwig, but that's not what it is.
No, it's all right, but it's a Harry Potter
But it's cool.
Lego set. That is cool.
Yeah,
and
it
that's
even has the Harry Potter people on the side.
I'm guessing you have to give that back because they're raffling it off.
They
or
were
it's
like,
a
please give
giveaway.
us back. This was the biggest. They had the really huge ones over there. I don't know. It was just some stuff. Everybody likes to go see corporate swag and all that kind of stuff for fun.
When I came here last year, because this is our second year here at Zero Trust World, I wondered why at a vendor event, this is ThreatLocker's event. Why do they have vendors at a vendor event? And I haven't had a chance to walk the complete floor yet. There seem to be more vendors here this year. They also seem to be, resellers and MSPs, consumers, but not necessarily the end consumer of the
Yeah.
ThreatLocker family of.
It's.
I like to use the word tools,
Well,
not
this is one of
solutions.
those vendor cons that I guess when I first came to it, I thought it was going to be like 50 people, and instead it was like a lot of people.
There's a lot
it
of
was a
people out
crazy
there.
lot of people. They have a huge party on tomorrow night. They have a costume party.
Yep.
David, we're waiting to see what you're wearing because there's some people that have amazing. In fact, last year the CEO Danny of ThreatLocker wore an actual. It didn't fly, which was the sad. It was an actual working Iron Man costume.
I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, and I mean it was like crazy. And I don't
Working is a relative.
well, like the little
term.
panels open and all this
Right.
kind of. But you couldn't fly or shoot people.
And the
with it.
theme for the big party this year is 1960s space, the beginning of the space program,
They didn't tell me the space part.
which I lived through it. I remember it. I mean, I remember watching, the first step on the moon, on a black and white 19-inch Philco TV set.
I did watch that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we had a bigger than a 19-inch TV set. Though we had like a 21-inch to a console TV. My dad.
We had a console, but that was downstairs. This
Yeah.
was the TV in the
Well,
bedroom.
we did. I remember it.
We had two TVs.
Ooh, yeah, we did too. We had a little teeny one upstairs
Yeah.
that my parents watched the news on every night at 11.
Remember
p.m.
the little TV screens, but the console was this big.
Oh yeah,
it was a
because
piece
the
of
console had a
furniture.
built-in hi-fi.
Yeah.
And so it had speakers, and it weighed like I don't
So
even
I'm
know.
all about 60s, and of course 60s was when the original and best Star Trek came out. The original series
True.
aired from 1966 to 1968, where many of the things that they foretold and used as devices and technology in the 60s is what we're walking around with today, right?
So,
Beam me up, Scotty.
oh yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, so are you dressing as a Star Trek character?
You'll have to wait and see.
Okay, yeah, nobody's revealing, but I will give you a hint to mine. It's from the wrong 60s.
The
He
wrong
said
side of
60s.
this.
I was like, okay.
And you went there.
I went there, but it's the wrong 60s. I wasn't thinking about Abby Hoffman. I was thinking about Hannibal Hamlin.
Okay.
Anybody know who that is? Do you know who Hannibal Hamlin is?
I have heard the name.
Okay.
But on the spot, I'm not gonna be able. I don't know what
I'm not
he
gonna
is
reveal my
any more
costume.
than the name of this owl, but I know it has a name.
It was Lincoln's vice president.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. But
No,
anyway.
it wasn't. Never. Go ahead.
Well, Andrew Johnson was later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Hamlin didn't become the president when,
No, Andrew Johnson did.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, now I just revealed it. Oh my God.
And that was a big deal in the 60s because, 100 years, to the year, had another presidential assassination, and the vice president, what was his
Coincidence?
name?
I think not.
Johnson. No, I remember all sorts of coincidences about that in the 60s.
Creepy.
The 60s was an interesting time.
It was. I was a little kid, so I didn't really, I remember seeing streakers.
I had, because everybody wanted to be an astronaut when you were a little kid in the '60s. I had sort of an astronaut suit. It was kind of a metallic cloth type of material. It was kind of a zip-up suit. Had a helmet, space helmet you could put on, and it had some sort of thing in the visor that made everything warbly, so it looked like you were walking on the moon, the craters of the moon. It was really cool.
I think those
And
were
do you
drugs,
remember
Jeff.
before? There was GI Joes, but then there was also Major Matt Mason. He was the space guy.
Major
astronaut.
Matt Mason.
I used to have all sorts of
Okay.
Major Matt Mason
Wow.
stuff. So when I heard about the '60s party, I wanted to get a Major Matt Mason
I was going to dress
suit
as Abby
and dress
Hoffman,
up.
but
Oh, we digress.
William Burroughs. I could dress as William Burroughs. I could just get a coat and a hat and a cigarette and ramble.
Getting back to Zero Trust World, I did want to say that this is a different conference too than what we usually do, which is more security focused. I mean, security is a focus here, but I think the attendees are more IT people. These are more practitioners in the trenches.
Yeah, maybe,
that's my
yeah.
perception coming into it.
I mean,
anyway.
ThreatLocker is a security company, but I think you're right. I mean, I
I
met
was
a lot
having
of people.
breakfast, sitting and meeting people, a few people this morning, and they're IT people. They know security is a thing. They worry about it, but they don't know why they're worrying about it. They just know that they're supposed to. Is that
Yeah.
I think that's a fair assertion,
No,
at
I
least
know.
going into this.
I met somebody this morning who didn't know what Pulse Security Weekly was, and I was like, "What?"
Well, this is not necessarily our
No, he was like an
our regular
MSP, so,
audience. Right. What would
So
they know?
MSPs don't necessarily, like you said, they know security is important. They just don't necessarily know why or what it should be.
But it's in
Sorry, not all of us.
in our world, I think it's important to make the distinction that there is the people that are responsible for securing the network and the enterprise, and that's the practitioners, the IT people,
Right.
and that's what's here. And then, in the best of all possible worlds, there's the people that are responsible for the security, and that's the monitoring and the detection and the response. And that's there'll be exceptions, but that's not who's here. I mean, at the reception last night, there's 600-800 people here. There are 4 hackers that I knew. I mean, I'm sure there was other hackers out there, but 4 that I recognize from our little community and all the different conferences we go to.
Yeah, so it is.
So it's a different focus here.
Because I went to another one last year. We won't say that one, but nothing wrong with it. And that was just very similar. It was another one where I was like, wow, I haven't really noticed anybody that I know here, and it was a cool conference, but it was just like I didn't know who it was a different audience, I think. So that
Right.
was kind of interesting. And I do a lot of different audience stuff.
So for people like us that are walking around, that have been around for a while, it's an opportunity, I think, to open people's eyes and just get them to think about and expand their thought processes.
Well, I think
on
that's a good reason to
security
be
and
here.
security.
I mean,
Yeah.
and like you said, Adam Savage was the keynote, right?
Adam Savage is keynoting on
Mythbusters.
Thursday. Marcus Hutchins, Malware Jake is keynoting tomorrow, and the guy today is Silva. I forget Tony
Okay.
Silva.
I don't
think
have my
he does a
schedule.
show. I know the name, but I don't.
Okay.
But they got a lot of
I
big
was
name
counting on
people
Jeff for all the details.
here. Yeah, well, that's why you pulled me in. Okay.
Yeah, I was like,
I got most of
I
it.
told the crew earlier today. I was like, look, I was drunk. I don't know what the hell's going on, and I need somebody that actually might be able to say something coherent this morning. So they were like, Jeff is right over there, and so we
And
pulled Jeff.
here
in.
I am.
And here he is, and so I was counting on him to give me the whole rundown of everything that was happening. But
Well,
it
I'm
is a
giving
cool
you
con.
the gist of it.
I think if you have a chance to come to this one next year, you probably should, because there's a lot of very interesting stuff around zero trust and all this kind of concept of that basic level of security. So I would say this is a good one to come to.
It is a good one, and to the extent that they're trying to do what I'm saying, distinguish between security and securing, and getting the practitioners and their management more aware, they're doing something new this year from last year. They're having a whole side that's teaching you how to hack. We're
That's
used to
true.
going to hacker conferences where they have capture the flag games of galore and all sorts of different activities. Well, they're doing more of that this year. So there's they don't call it
The hacker lab.
They have a hacker lab. They're going to let you be hands-on. They've got a server set up over there, and they're going to let anybody break into it. And the first one that breaks into it, I think it's this.
It's that? No, I
get some
should've
kind
gone
of
and
a
got the
prize.
prize for that.
Yeah.
I could have waved it around or sneaked away with it.
But I mean, they're trying to fuse the two sides of our world together. The secure, the vendor side versus the practitioner researcher side.
I agree.
Let's put it
No,
that way.
So I definitely think that it's probably a con worth checking out. It's a lot bigger than we thought. It's at a much cooler resort than we thought. And so far, I've been pleasantly surprised because last year when I was invited to come to it, I had no idea what to expect, and
Yep.
I thought it really might be a tent and a
And
vacant
most
lot
importantly,
somewhere.
they have a pretty decent balcony where they let you
They
smoke
have a smoking
cigars,
balcony
so
and free food.
we
So
do
you
we
know,
do have Cigar Con going all week.
Yeah, we do. So if you are here and you're watching, if you want to come hang out, please do.
Yep.
Just ask who did you ask to find this secret location?
I asked the people at the front desk. I said, "Where can you smoke around here?" And they just pointed.
There's a door that
It's
says
right
this is
straight-
not an exit, and so I felt
That's
like
where it
you remember
is.
that picture of Keith Moon where he's sitting in a chair. This is not to be taken away. I felt like that when I was going through that door
Yep.
last night. I was like, is this ominous or what? Anyway, we are over time because I babbled. But to keep up with all our content that here at Zero Trust World, please visit securityweekly.com/ZTW, Z Tango Whiskey. Stick around though, and we'll be back with another interview right after the break. Thank you, Jeff Mann. I'm Doug White, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
See you.